If there's key pieces in your human design that you don't get, or you're actually frustrated with your energy type, or you don't feel your energy type actually resonates, then this video is for you. I'm gonna break down the biggest misconception for each energy type and what you're missing to understand what your actual superpower is, and not that regurgitated shit that you're reading on the internet. Let's dig deep. If you're new here, my name is Micah Gabriela, and I am your human design god fairy mother, and I break down the human design system in a very tangible, easy to understand way so that you stop second guessing and stop wasting your time in the rabbit hole that is the internet, and have a reliable source that will give you a beautiful, fantastic, in-depth understanding of your human design every single week. So please subscribe to the channel. I love watching this community grow. Thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. You might be saving all of the posts, you might be doing your research, you might be making a mistake by trying to ask ChatGPT, because as a DM recently confirmed, and I already knew, ChatGPT is really bad at trying to figure out human design. It doesn't have enough real, actual, truthful information. So it can be more confusing than helping. But you've got me, and I'm here to demystify one of the biggest misconceptions for each energy type that I think is holding you back from stepping into your superpower and understanding your unique gifts that will allow you to actually step into your purpose. So let's dig deep. The first energy type that I want to talk about is the reflector. I feel like the biggest misconception that there is about the reflector is that you're weak, that you're so sensitive that you can't deal with life in the world. I want like a buzzing, like a wrong sound. Why is that wrong? Because when you're actually aligned, and the aligned reflectors that I know, they are on fire. They're not sensitive. They're not like cuckoo. They're not like talking to whatever, the aliens, although there might be some that are aligned and talking to aliens, no judgment. But the ones that I know are very grounded, full of energy, intense people. Not intense in the way a manifestor or manifesting generators where it's energetically dominant, but in that they are alive. These are souls that are filled to the brim with energy, because through your open energy centers, you're taking everything in and you're amplifying. And so the number one thing that is keeping you stuck from living in alignment, or that is blocking you from actually stepping into your full potential as a reflector, is this idea that you think you're so sensitive you can't deal with the world. Yes, you have a heightened sensibility to what's happening in the world, and that is your superpower. But this doesn't mean that you need to carry the weight of the world. Quite on the contrary. Your aligned way of operating energetically as a reflector is being open. And so you're like Teflon. Nothing sticks, baby. You take in the energy because you have openness. The feminine energy draws in the dominant energy. You assess it, you savor it, you understand it, you analyze it, you sense it, you embody it, you translate it. And when you're done, and this can be quick in an instant, you let it all out back into the world, because it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to hold on to. So the actual most aligned way for a reflector to embody their true self is to understand that they're here to know everything and to keep nothing. And that exchange of energy will fill you up. If you hold on to things because you're scared, because you need to have that sense of like safety and feeling grounded and wanting to be something, you don't feel comfortable in that openness and that freedom and that just like expansion of the soul that you carry, then you're gonna like be stuck and that energy won't flow, and then you'll be carrying extra pain, you'll be carrying extra weight, you'll feel stagnant and stuck in your life, and you won't have the surprises that life has to offer for you. Instead, let go. That is the main point you might be missing. It's not figuring out who you are. It's not trying to assess who everybody else is. These are things that happen naturally. But your biggest obstacle is learning how to let go that isn't yours to begin with. The next one is actually one of my favorite to debunk, and it's one of the most common. 38% of the population are generators. And I heard so many generators being like, oh, what a bummer. I'm like everyone else. No, you're not. You're a beautiful, sparkling, sunny weather on, sunshine on a rainy day. You as a generator are so unique because you are human and you're as unique as your fingerprint. So just because you carry a similar energetic as the biggest majority doesn't make you similar like everybody else at all. And so I think the biggest kind of like pain or misconception that is circulating on the internet is that generators are working bees. Like all you're here to do is work, Rihanna Queen. And that's actually not how I want you to frame this. Yes, you have consistent energy. Yes, you're an incredible force at continuously figuring difficult shit out. Like that's awesome. Please see that that's awesome. And here's the kicker. The whole thing about the generator is you are creation embodied. You are a creative force. You are a life force. Everything that's ever been built was built by a generator. And you're not here to focus on your work or on your job. Oh my God, like, could we please stop thinking that we are anything that is our job? No, we're not. Our job is an extension of the way that we communicate our gifts. It is the channel through which we reach other people to share our gifts. This is what our job is, okay? Like, we really need to reframe. But what your actual purpose is, my beautiful generator, is not being a effing working bee. It's like frolicking in the fields and like, sitting with the birdies. I don't know. You're meant to be like Cinderella. Cinderella is like talking to the birdies. She's doing all of the housework, but she has this deep sense that she is meant to enjoy life. That there needs to be more to life than this hard, continuous, horrible, joyless work. And so when she's frolicking with the birdies and she's singing, like that is the generator vibe. And you're here to enjoy life. The more you enjoy life, the more all of the other energy types are allowed to enjoy life. So please invest time in discovering things that are creative, where you get your hands dirty, where you are working to bring something into a material state from your creations, your idea, your passion, your gut. Like, we need you to be in creation mode. And that could lead to a job. That could lead to making money, but it doesn't always have to. And so that working bee energy can be great for business, can be great to have a stable 9-to-5 where you get your paycheck, and then, in the afternoons you go pole dancing to have fit arms. Do with that information what you will. My beautiful manifesting generator. I really have to pause and think what the biggest misconception is as a manifesting generator, because I feel like it is the most accurately described energy type out there. To me, the biggest myth, and this has to do more with your own perception of yourself, with your own internal shame built in from the judgment you received as a child. We're getting serious here. It is much more about your own fear of being perceived as chaotic, unstable, uncertain, confused. It's so interesting to me because when I watch a manifesting generator change careers, find a new passion, start a new hobby, do a different course, read another book, it never feels weird to me. I'm like, girl, do your thing, or guy. Right? It's awesome. It's inspiring. It's hell yes. And you might come back to doing the thing that you love doing, right? You might be like, I didn't find the right strategy 3 years ago, but now I feel how I'm meant to do it in a way that's much more aligned. And you go back. It's not always like, oh, I do this for 3 days and then I leave it and I never look at it again. It's usually like I started, the energy is out, I find something else, and then I go back. There's a lot of going back, hopefully only to courses and projects, not partners. So For the manifesting generator, it is the fear of stepping into the full yes of your body. It is the staying stuck in the same lane out of fear what other people might say and the judgment you think other people might have on you. You're such a natural born disruptor. And when you start owning that that's just part of your life path and you stop being unapologetic, or you stop apologizing for trying to be anything else, you will see how you will win your super fans. And I see this, like I all the time there's this creator mind that's coming into my mind. And I feel like every 6 to 12 months she changes her career. Do I think that she would have gotten hugely successful if she would have just stuck to one thing? Personally, yes. Personally, I'm like, girl, you were so great at this. Why are you going back to this other thing? Why are you moving? Why are you doing? But on the other side, I see her gaining super fans. She's like, this is what I am. This is what I do. It doesn't light my spark anymore. I'm doing something else. Now I'm excited about this. Now I want to continue to do this. And how much are you doing it for others? And how much are you doing what you love doing for your own personal evolution and growth? Are you creating a business because you want to make X amount of money? Or are you creating a business because you are, craving expansion? I truly believe having your own business is one of the most spiritual things you can do. I've never in my life grown as strongly spiritually as my business has required me to. Okay? Stakes are high, ladies and gentlemen. Stakes are high. And so if you see it like that, if you see it that for her as a manifesting generator, she starts a business and it's something that is about her personal revolution. It's about her path of getting to know deeply to the core what her soul wants and needs. Well, if what I loved that she was creating, because I honestly love everything that she does, if that was that and she's on to the next thing, that's great because she's not doing it for me. She's doing it for herself. And that's what is her and your manifesting generator's superpower. And so now we're going to come to the projector. And this little birdie knows a song about being a projector. And so it's been really interesting because I think working with projectors, you really learn to understand this deep, deep core-seated need of being recognized. If a projector isn't recognized early on in their life, the bitterness strikes to a core. And what makes projectors really unsexy is them trying to prove to everybody how good they are, how successful they are, how talented they are, but not actually having the proof to show it. And that is also the maximum pain for the projector in the situation. Because the projector is like, I know how good I am, why does the world not see it? And the biggest trap, listen, my beautiful projector, the biggest trap here is blaming everybody else. Oh, I feel so alone. I'm looking for my community. I want to have a team around me. Outsource. Don't keep all the money for yourself. Hire somebody to be your teammate. Go to a co-working space. Oh, I'm such a genius. I have such an incredible ideas. I see the world in such a special way. Nobody understands me. Learn to communicate better. Deep dive in non-threatening communication skills. Understand phrasing, cadence, body language. Work on how you communicate. If as a projector, you stay passive, you stay in your feminine energy around the conflict that is arising, you will stay stuck in bitterness. And I don't want you to stay there. It's a horrible, shitty place to be there. I've been there and it sucks. It sucks. And you are so special and so unique and have such a beautiful essence to share with the world. We need you. We need your guidance. Like, guys, wake up. It's 2027. It's literally around the door. We need you to guide us into the new paradigm. But instead of blaming everybody else around you for the obstacle you're not able to solve, be honest with yourself. Look at the things you're not doing good enough and start working on getting great at it. Because it's not about needing to do more to show to the world what you have to offer. It's really all about understanding that how you explain what only you see is the worth you bring in every situation and circumstance. Last but not least, we have the beautiful manifestor. And this is my favorite myth to debunk. for manifestors is this, because it's so important, it's so pivotal, it's so obvious, and nobody talks about it. I've never heard anybody else talk about it but me, who's trying to get it into your brain every single video. Your essence as a manifestor is not power. Your essence as a manifestor isn't particular old paradigm leadership. Your essence as a manifestor is not dominance, it's not being strong, it's not being powerful. That's what everybody else says on the internet, okay, my beautiful manifestors? You need to lead with something completely opposite. You need to lead with responsibility, with silence. I know it's the opposite of informing. With trust, with creating safety. The moment that you focus on the opposite of what everybody else tells you to do, you will be put in power automatically. You won't have to demand it. You won't have to force it. You won't have to coerce it. You won't have to scare and yell people into place to demand your authority. It will be attributed to you automatically, manifested. When you are creating peace every time you meet somebody for a coffee, every time you go to the office, every time you sit down with your lover, you think about this one intention of, I am bringing peace and calm and stability and a grounded energy, and I'm taking full responsibility for everything in this current situation. People around you will breathe out. Finally, somebody that knows how to ground me. Finally, somebody who can give me their shoulder and I know I can rely on them to lay my head. Finally, somebody who, when I'm running around like a chicken who's got their head cut off, sorry for being so gruesome, is oh, with this person, I can stay still. I am protected. I feel safe. This person brings me peace. When you start making that energy your priority, you will get power. You will become an authority. You will be dominant, because people will want to give you the key to their heart. They will want to give you the key to their business. They will want to give you the key to their life. They're like, please, show me the way. I trust you. You protect me. You make me feel safe. And then you'll be able to show what you're really made of. I hope these points really help you understand what your superpower is. What is the missing key between who you think you need to be versus who you truly are, and how to connect to that. And as always, please let me know in the comments below what other topics you'd like me to discuss, any ideas that you have. I love to answer all of your questions. And if you feel like this information is valuable, please share it with the people in your life, your best friend, your lover, your community. Tag me, DM me if there was something interesting that you learned in this video. All of your messages fill my heart. And as always, remember, I don't care what anybody says. I love you.